And your way, good.
All right, I think we're good. Bill, if you want to do a call to order and then maybe some introductions might be helpful.
Yep, sounds good. All right, I will call this audit committee meeting together at 9 a.m. 9:02 a.m. on January 9th, 2026. We have in attendance the three audit committee commissioners, Commissioner Martinez, Commissioner Hadley, Commissioner Winfield, myself. We've got admin here as well, both Mark Tyner and Quinn Hall, with visitors from different component units. Ken Miner, ma'am, I don't remember your name. Jen, Andy Smith from EMS, Lillian and Chris Scoville from Solid Waste. So I will start off with our general business here. We'll get the meeting minutes out of the way. So if anybody has had a chance to review those and wants to make a motion.
I'll move to approve the minutes from the meeting of December 5th, 2025.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Hadler, second by Commissioner Martinez. All in favor? Aye. Passes unanimously. And then we will move on to the review and approval of the auditor engagement letter with Richie May. And I will open it up to discussion at this point. And I'm imagining that maybe Karen and Julian will have some comments to weigh in here if they'd like.
Good morning. My review of the engagement letter it looks pretty standard. I didn't flag very much. Karen might have more thoughts on this, but the only thing to just keep in mind is the short amount of turnaround to 5 days if there are any deficiencies in the agreement, just to keep that in mind and monitor timelines.
And my apologies for not introducing Julian Metcalf with, remind me, it's Metcalf and.
It's GPP Analytics.
Okay,
Yeah.
GDP Analytics and Karen, who is with Forvis Majors, and it looks like we have Mr. Whipple with Richie May. So my apologies for skipping over you the first time.
No worries at all. I also looked over the engagement letter. I didn't see anything unusual, except there was one thing I had a question on. It was related to, there was a date in there of April, was it April 19th? Mike, was that the date that you were anticipating that the county would have the single audit ready for you, or that you would have the single audit ready for the county?
Let me pull it up real quick here. Just kind of being lost in.
Do you know what page that's on, Karen?
No, I'm sorry. I have 16 different windows open and I'm trying to find that one.
And you said it was the 19th?
I think so.
Okay, I think on page 8, we just have a comment. We expect to begin our audit on approximately April 13th, 2026. So, I mean, that's a rough estimate. And I think that is tied to, what we previously discussed with the audit committee, and when we anticipate starting field work on site.
Okay.
So,
and that gives you plenty of time to get the audit issued by the end of June.
Right, yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you. And so just to clarify real quick, so April 13th would be the day that you would require all materials then?
Let me pull my calendar again real quick here. So we are, April 13th, we were anticipating coming down on site. So if you gave us everything in advance of the 13th, that would help us really be up and running. If you gave it to us, that 13th when we came down there that morning, that helped us. I guess I would say if you can get us, the trial balances things in advance of that date, that'll help us come down and really be really ready to rock and roll and be very, very focused when we're, down at your office working with your team too. So we'll be flexible with whatever, works for your team. That's part of why it's slightly big.
To be honest, I think what would work best for me, and we can discuss this, but I think a firm deadline of when we want to make sure that all materials are ready would work for me the best. That way we can make sure that we say that this is the deadline where we want things in by, and that you're not held up. I mean, rather than have this be kind of a soft date, I think a firm date of, I need all materials by X, Y, date would probably work best for me. I don't know what the other commissioners think.
I think that regardless what we do here, we have to have our paperwork filed on time this year. That's the goal. That's the reason that we've made some of the changes that we have and what we're looking forward. So we're expecting a hard date out of you so that we know where we're going, what it's gonna take to get that all accomplished.
Okay, well, I mean, I would say, could we have Friday the 10th be the hard date to get us everything so that we have it in advance when we come down to your office? And when we come down to your office, we can be,
April 10th?
yeah, April 10th, Friday, April 10th, so that we can, start digging into it and, come, armed with questions and everything to really dig in there. Would that be okay?
You have any thoughts on that, Joe?
Yeah, what exactly is included in that? Does that include the component units or is that just the county?
That's gonna be all of it.
But, and in the past, that's been more nebulous and it's also been further out. It's been June-ish or so. Is that correct?
Well, I think the deadline is June 30th, correct?
Correct.
Which is all of our deadlines, which when the component units exercise that deadline date, then there's no way we can get our audit in on time, and that's where the pressure's coming. It's not.
Yeah, and that's my concern about an April date is like, does that actually give them enough time? With adding the component units to it, I imagine your previous auditor probably started sometime around that same time. Well, if they're not starting till April 15th, you have at least 3 other component units you gotta do as well as the county. Is that enough time for them to get that all done? Because before you had 3 different auditors working on it at the same time. Now it's gonna be 1 auditor. And so that was my only concern, was making sure they have enough time.
Mike,
So
do you wanna address that, Mike? Is that enough time for you?
We have everything that date. I think we, yes, absolutely be able to make and honor that deadline. And I mean, if you want to give it to us earlier, I mean, we could send an earlier deadline I would want to say April 1st, get us everything by April 1st. And then we could really digest, pick samples in advance, coming down to your office. We certainly can. I guess I'm accustomed to a lot of flexibility in working with my clients. And so I guess, I'm here you've hired us to serve you. We've hired us to be your independent auditors. And with this will be a little bit of figuring out on both sides, the best working relationship. So, April 10th, absolutely, we can do it. If we want to set an earlier date, that even give us even more time. I love more time, which lowers the pressure on me. And, I guess shifts a little bit of the pressure from me to your team. So I guess I don't want to be,
Just to make
I'm
sure
not that,
there's
I guess I'm not that, I don't want to be that demanding, but I'm certain if we want to set that together collaboratively, I'd be all for it. So, what do you think?
Gabe?
I'm just asking, the clerk auditor real quick, just to make sure that there's nothing in his thing that April 1st or April 10th or April 13th, in that time period, that's gonna be a problem. Yeah.
Quinn, when have we always had the auditor come in the past for that week that they come in and sit down with everybody? Is that similar timeframes at all, April?
It's varied.
Right.
It's usually the end of April to the middle of May.
Oh, gotcha.
So we'll wait.
Well, when will they have a list of things they need? That would be the question.
When will what?
When will you have a list of things that they need by April 1st?
Mike, do you want to answer that?
Well, if you'd like, I can give you, a preliminary list today with some requests for you guys. Now, I guess, the ebb and flow of an audit, there's a lot of the pattern of like, we typically will ask for some things, some documents, and then we'll get them back. They'll look them over, come back with follow-up requests, and we'll look them over. And that's the ebb and flow there. I mean, the biggest thing is, the trial balance, which is, the detailed listing of all your accounts. And then we look at them and say, which accounts, do we need to look at the supporting schedules and pick samples from as we go through that. So can I give you a list today? You know, we call it a PBC list, prepared by client list of requests. I can give you a high level list today. But getting the trial balances, that would be a step that I'll need before I can get too detailed, because I'll need that to pick some of the supporting schedules that we will, follow up and, pick some transactions to test. Not all of them, but samples of them. So I can put that on my list of things to do today. Let me just give you a PBC today.
I would think that it's important also, Quinn and Mark, that we get information to them on what individuals they need to be dealing with in the different component units. I mean, we kind of know within our own house here, but so that he has a chain of command or contact information on who he should be reaching out to in each of the component units. Yes.
Does the SSDs, do you guys need to bring this back to your board for approval on this right here for this engagement letter for yourselves? Or is this something that's inside of your authority to make?
I can speak for us. We already brought it to the board
Okay,
last year when you guys put this out, and we said, hey, we had the board vote on, as long as it was the same cost as our previous or lower, we'll go with the counties.
Okay.
So that's already been done on our side. I'm
Thank
not
you.
sure about, yeah.
And we're still in contract with another auditor.
okay,
And we're a little bit different where, our budget isn't necessarily intertwined with the county. But obviously, last year didn't work out real good for us because we were right there at the end. We've pressured our auditor to make sure, but so I guess are we still gonna be held to the April 13th?
it would be nice,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't have to be, it holds up the county, and then that puts us into arrears and into.
Yeah, just-
Sure, and
Cause your deadline and our deadline are the same dates.
yeah, and it was explained to me by my auditor that, once your guys' are done, basically your auditor just takes a couple of numbers from us and plugs them in. Now, not, trying to, that was just how it is explained to me why they could push us, right
Oh,
next
to the deadline.
to you guys. But obviously, I think that's why we were invited here, is to try to figure out what's gonna work out with you.
And
You guys.
you're already in contract this year with an auditor.
This is a 5-year contract. This is the last year, I
Yeah.
believe, of the.
Okay,
contract.
so this is the last year of your contract on that.
So, and they've given us 2 dates this year, one in February, which I don't think we can be ready for. We just got too much stuff that's out of our control that we're waiting to kind of finalize. And the other date they gave us was in May.
I was told it wouldn't, regardless of when they come on site, they wouldn't have anything finalized until the end of May. The last
That's
week
right,
in May.
that's right.
Is what we were told about a week ago. We can try and, they told us there was another special service district in Moab that they would also be auditing. And they were waiting to hear back from them to decide when to be on site.
Who is
We
your
can-
auditor?
Oh, Smearin, Rich and Mercy out of Price.
We're the other one.
Oh.
The recreation district.
Oh, okay, because he didn't disclose.
And we just signed a new contract that last I heard we were gonna try to get out of, and I've not heard back on that.
Do you have a date or when they'll be down in Moab?
The dates were not within this constraint.
Yeah.
And so that's what we need to take back to them and go, this is our new constraint.
Well, I would think that if you put that pressure on them, that they have to meet that constraint. I don't know, unless they've got a contract that gives them a way out of it. Why, it might allow you to get out of yours. I don't know about yours, but.
How long is your contract with them?
I think we just signed a new 3-year contract.
3 year?
Well, and maybe we can put pressure on them if there's 2 clients down here and that we lay out the county's deadline and we, if you're gonna
Exactly.
do this, I mean, maybe from 2 different districts might be able to adjust the date. So we'll have to get back to you on that unless there was an option where we try to get out of the contract and then we just join in with your auditor, I guess.
Well, and that's why we were trying to provide an incentive from the county. That would financially make it beneficial for you guys to join.
And I haven't seen any of that documentation.
Don't know. Honestly, I couldn't quote what we decided on.
It was, Honestly, it was, so that it was $7,500 and we paid $2,500 of that, making it 5,000 for the SSDs. Is that, I think that was.
We hadn't heard that, but that makes us happy.
No, it wasn't that.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up. I have it in the, it's in the minutes of last meeting, so.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I can pull that up. real
I mean,
quick.
it's a pretty. pretty
It's
big deal.
actually, it's super
Yeah.
helpful. I mean, the audit isn't a
Sure.
huge cost to us, as far as just in dollar amounts, but it is, I mean, it's super helpful and again, we're happy to. I know our auditor always took till the last few weeks to submit it, and because they legally can,
Yeah.
it's really hard to force them. So we're happy to be part of it. So thank you.
And I
Pretty
if I
sure
could say a word
I
about, timelines and things, if I can take a second. So, I mean, we'll be starting and doing the whole audit for Grand
Yeah.
County and
25
starting. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Mike, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. So, I thought about timelines, where we are doing the audit of Grand County and we need to start and, dive into all the details in early April. If you are, doing that if the component units are doing that with their, their existing auditors, around the same time, and your audits are wrapping up so that you have your audit reports, starting to be ready, end of May. And so that, since we're not doing testing, if you stay with the current auditors and you're getting your reports ready about the end of May, we just will be taking those reports and your numbers and incorporating them into Grand County's report. And so if you're wrapping up around the end of May, I think that would give us enough time to incorporate all your data into the Grand County draft financials. So I guess, as far as trying to negotiate with your existing auditors, do you need them to start that early? Well, I guess, working backwards from when do you need to be wrapping up so that we're all finishing by June 30th. If you're wrapping up by the end of May,
You're gonna need them.
They can be, flexible, on the start date, as long as the end date, we are getting very close, all of us at the end of May, if that's helpful.
So Mike, but to go on that, we don't want to have their audits wrapping up at the same time as our audits because we're gonna need to go ahead and go through those. So you're gonna need enough time prior to that. So their audits are gonna have to be finished. I don't know how much time that you're gonna need prior to that so that we make sure that our financials are able to submit on June 30th. And there are some other deadlines in that as well. And some things that need to happen before. So it's not like you hand us the final and then it's ready. I mean, I know that we have to have it has to pass through the audit committee. The audit committee has to make recommendations. Then it has to go before the commission, and then the commission fills that out, and then it's submitted. So there are a couple of other things in there. If we're starting at one point and working our way back, I think we just need to make sure that we're taking into account those other things that are going to need to happen, and make sure that we have the component units in enough time so that we can get that all. Because if we wait until June 30th for the or June 1st for the component units to present theirs, then you're going to have to go ahead and include that in there. Audit committee is going to have to meet. Then we're going to have to wait till the next commission meeting. We're going to be a month late.
Good point, yeah. That's good.
So-
Laying out the time on there. Thank you.
The last commission meeting in June is the 16th.
Okay.
So working backwards from that date, we have to present these to the full commission on the 16th of June. And we would have to have a audit committee meeting prior to that. Somewhere the week of the 8th through the 12th, my guess.
But we need to have it on the agenda when the 16th is the meeting, so that would be.
So, right, so Tuesday late, so we have to have our meeting either the 8th or the 9th. Or the previous week,
At the
probably.
latest, yeah.
At the latest, the 8th or
Yeah.
the 9th of June for the audit committee.
And that's if if everything works. I mean, remember last year we had to make a couple of changes and then we had to have an additional meeting, so there was no latitude there at all. So it would be nice to have the ability that if there's something that we don't agree with and we want to make some changes, that we're able to make those changes and come back and meet, even if it's just the following day,
So audit committee, the first week of June would be better. That gives us the second week
Yeah.
to make any changes to make the deadline for the 16th.
Yeah.
So what would be the drop dead date for a final audit for a special service district.
Let's go here, so. 1st of June. How many weeks prior do you, Mike,
Yeah,
Mike, how many weeks prior do you need the component units?
the ones that are coming in from an external
Yeah.
auditor.
The ones that will be coming from an external auditor?
Okay, so we need to draft the full draft, including all the component units to the audit committee by June 1st. I'd love 2 weeks, like Monday, the 18th. I would to get them in the draft, work the draft up a little bit more. If you give me 1 week, we probably can pull it off. I would love 2 weeks.
2 weeks sounds like.
I think that May 18th is a good day to shoot for.
And then the component units want to maybe take that number back to their auditor, and you guys can work back from then and say, hey, we need to make sure that we have this in by May 18th. When do you need our documentation? I think that would work well.
I'd like to jump in just as clarity, because I'm sorry, I didn't hear who was from which component unit. So is it correct that the Recreation District just signed a new 3-year contract? Do I have?
Correct.
Is that right? Okay, great. And is it the Solid Waste Special Service District that's in the last year of their 5-year contract?
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
and you all have both the same auditor?
Yes.
And what was the name of that auditor, please?
Smuin, Rich, and Marsing, SMUIN, Rich, and Marsing, MARSING.
And
MARSING.
Okay, thank you. And Canyonlands and Emergency Medical Services District, for those 2 districts, do you have existing contracts, or are you planning to join the county with Richie May? Or has that been determined?
So yeah, the EMS district plans on joining the county's agreement. I do not know about the healthcare district. There's not a representative of theirs in the room, but last I heard, they were still in a contract with Ryan Jones, Larson? With Larson. So
So that
we
one
just
is
got
still up
lazy
in
and
the
never
air.
signed contracts, and it's working out to our benefit.
Okay, so someone will have to communicate with, I'm sorry, with
Well-
Canyonlands, right? To make sure they're on the same page, either with their current auditor or working out an engagement letter with the county's
And
auditor.
what other component units are we missing? That are gonna need to be
Those are-
updated.
Those are the only 4 that have separately audited financial
yeah,
statements.
healthcare, rec SSD, solid waste, and EMS.
Transportation.
They do, but they're much smaller, though. Them and Thompson, there's like 4 smaller
Oh, okay.
ones that
They just
don't
kinda
need a
fall
full
under
audit, they
county.
just do it,
Okay.
yeah.
It's the Water District, Thompson, and the Transportation District.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No, thank you. Any other thoughts from you guys? I know we're putting some pressure on you here.
Is there a person I can contact at the new auditor, just so I can be in contact with them?
Yep, I think we can make sure that we get all that information out to everybody. That's why I was saying we wanna get your information to him, so we're.
And then as well to the other SSDs, we'll still make sure that we reach out to you guys with Mike's contact from Richie May, so that you guys can get in contact and, give them what they need and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we started talking to ours last year because just the way that things worked out last year, that we wanted to make sure they were, adhering to whatever the county said. So if we have difficulty with our auditors being able to commit to this date, I guess where would be the deadline to maybe join in with the Richie May if we had to, take another path to ensure that we can meet the deadline?
I don't think there is a deadline really.
Well,
It's
just
that's
a
my,
little bit.
The
it sounds like it would have to be that early April.
That
You
April,
gotta- they're
and-
gonna pay,
That's true.
Right, yeah,
Okay.
that'd be the latest, obviously.
Mike, is that something that you guys could work with? If someone decides that they wanted a change, could you still accommodate them on April 10th?
Yes, yeah, we'd be able to, yeah, if you could let us know before that, so that, again, when we come down to,
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
site to your offices, like we know the full scope of everything we need to cover, so, yeah, in advance of April 10th then we'd know, and then we can come down prepared and have, audit fun with you guys too.
Yeah, I know our audits, they're getting better, but they will last sometimes a week when they come down, so.
Yeah.
It might be a little extra burden now. We've been getting better because we've been working with the same one. We've got it down to 2 or 3 days.
More familiar with it.
Yeah, so are we comfortable enough that we could put an email out with all of these deadline dates? Do we have that ironed out well enough? You think?
I think so, sounds like it.
Contact information.
Yeah, the contact information, but I think we need to follow up with Gabe's office to ensure
Yeah.
that the financial statements can be accomplished.
Okay, he's not in. or
No,
what?
I've sent him a message.
Okay,
And then also if we could maybe get the PBC list from Mike as well and just include that in that email.
Okay.
Then
And
I think that would be,
that would help.
that would be helpful as well.
I'll get that to you today.
Perfect. Thanks, Mike.
I think we're ready for a motion to approve the engagement letter, are we not?
Think so.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the engagement letter from Richie May.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Martinez, second by Commissioner Hadler, all in favor? Aye, that passes the engagement letter with Richie May. And we don't really have anything else on our agenda. If there's any other questions you guys have. I don't see, there's nothing we've discussed needs to go into a closed session, correct?
No.
Feel like we answered everything?
Next meeting's March 20th.
Put some pressure on you, I'm sorry.
Maybe you can get better results than I've had with auditors.
Yeah. I think you guys understand where we're coming from, right? It isn't that we're trying to be bullies by any mean, but we want our audit on time. That's been the
Absolutely. pressure
pressure that we've been under for all of the years that I've been here as a commissioner. We have yet to file an audit on time.
Well, and I did make it pretty clear last year that, we wanted to, once again, adhere to the county's kind of deadlines. And I mean, we did get some pushback a little bit, basically saying, well, we can turn ours in June 30th, because, it's like, well, none of that matters. You can go into the weeds about the legalities of everything. We just want to play good with the county. So if you want to be our auditor, make it happen. So we'll look into make sure they can get the dates, and if not, we'll move on.
If I recall correctly, we pushed for a May 30th in our contract. So we're not too far off, but we are not.
Yeah.
And maybe we can coordinate, since we have the same thing, and kind of pressure that if this is gonna work.
Well,
Yeah.
if there's nothing else, I'm gonna adjourn. I've got a Zoom meeting I've got to go get in. If possible. But thank you for showing up. Sorry that we didn't even have you on the agenda because I forgot that was part of it, but I just appreciate you guys working with this. I mean, this has, been key for the county, and we've worked hard for multiple years. I know it's gonna take involving Gabe to make sure he's on board with all of this, but Karen, we always appreciate your financial advice. Thanks for showing up. Julian as well, it's been a big help having you guys part of the team.
We look forward to working with you guys, Richie May.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Likewise, everyone,
Thank you all. Think you're on a good track.
thank you. With that, we will adjourn this meeting.